Hey everyone, it is Bridget here from Bridget's Kitchen, wishing you a very happy start to your week if you are watching this on a Monday. Yes, it is Monday, which means we've just obviously come out of the weekend. And coming out of the weekend was a little bit exciting in our household for a number of reasons. Firstly, I did a cooking class on Saturday, right here actually, where people normally sit is I work here and people sit over there. We get rid of the table, we bring in all the chairs, and you are literally part of Bridget's Kitchen, which is so exciting. And we had a fabulous but very long cooking class because I got too excited and I talked way too much. So it was about 3.5 hours of me talking and sharing recipes and sharing all the wonderful stuff. And it was really, really good because we got to talk about the meal plan, you know, the 28-day meal plan. So everyone that came to the cooking class on Saturday, they got a copy of my 28-day meal plan, which was so exciting. But also we got to talk really in depth about meal prepping and what it means to be organized. So totally good class. And then straight after the class, we got to sit down. This is me and my husband Mahe and our kids. We got to sit down and we got to fully enjoy a bit of rugby. So it was a very classic match or clash of the Titans, so to speak. The All Blacks played the Wallabies, and it was a do or die for both teams. And I'm happy to say, from a Kiwi girl's perspective, that our team came out on top, the All Blacks. But what actually happened, and this is the story behind these donuts that I created, is what happens if you are able to keep the opposing team scoreless. So on 0 points, we call that donuts, giving the donuts. So the All Blacks kept the Wallabies scoreless. So it was 36-0 in the end, which was 0. And so to give my Australian family and friends a little bit of a ribbing on Sunday, I thought, oh, I'm going to go make some donuts. But you know me. Those donuts aren't just any donuts. These donuts had to be healthy donuts as well. And I was just kind of playing around with the recipe, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that's really, really good. So the end result is, yes, the All Blacks got the win, which was exciting for us Kiwis. And it's, 19 years. I won't talk about it too much, but it's 19 years since the Wallabies last held the Bledisloe Cup from us. So it is an amazing legacy for the All Blacks, an amazing win. The Aussies played incredibly well the week before. Have to take my hat off to them for the week before. Was an amazing performance, and they absolutely showed us up. But last Saturday we came out victorious, and it was an amazing game. 0 donuts. So went to the kitchen on Sunday morning, started playing around with donuts, and then started feeding them to my family, and we were like, what the? That was amazing. So I am going to create those donuts for you guys because they were so good, and I was like, I've really got to share this recipe. And to show you how new this recipe is, if you're asking for the recipe, you need to watch this video. This is the only place this recipe exists apart from my hand. This is how recipes start. There you go, there's the donut recipe with coconut oil splatter on my book. I haven't even typed it up yet. It is that brand new, completely and utterly brand new. So if you want the recipe for my gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free donuts, you have to watch this video because I haven't even put it online yet. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, to everyone that's joining me today, thank you for joining me. Please say hello. Let me know where you are. I've just got a kia ora from Coral, who's looking forward to the recipe. It's a good one. It's a good one. And there's a couple, as we're going along, you'll actually see how awesome this recipe is, because one of the things about donuts, and we go back to like a Krispy Kreme or a Dunkin' Donuts or whatever it is, one of the worst combinations that we can put into our body is a combination of sugar and fat. And you know that traditionally donuts are deep fried, and that's why they're just so delicious when we put them in our mouths. They're absolutely delicious. So of course I've taken out the ability for us to need to deep fry these donuts, because when you deep fry dough, which is where the fat and the sugar and the gluten is, all the dough is soaking up all that fat that you're deep frying it. So these donuts are not deep fried as well, which is really exciting. So let's get into the recipe because it's a pretty good one. I'm going to bring you down here so you can see what's going on in my bowl. So the first thing that we need to do is think about the wet ingredients that we're going to be adding into our donuts. I'm starting with 2 free-range eggs here. So we're just going to crack those eggs into the bowl. I am using a glass bowl so you can see what's happening. Not that there's much to see, but you can see what's happening there. Oops. So 2 eggs go in. I'm going to also add in This here is 50 grams of coconut yogurt. Now I'm using coconut yogurt because it's obviously dairy free, and these are dairy free donuts. If you're not so bothered about being dairy free, you could add normal unsweetened yogurt at this point as well, but I am lactose intolerant, so I like to use coconut yogurt because I need to take a lot of the dairy out of my diet, and me and yogurt just do not get on. Me and milk don't get on either, but me and yogurt, we're not. I love yogurt, I love the texture of yogurt, like normal cow's yogurt, but oh my gosh, it's not a great thing. So, and hey, talofa from Samoa, and we've got someone coming in from Tassie as well, to Elizabeth from Tassie and Lara from Samoa. Hello, welcome, please come in, enjoy. So yogurt's in there, coconut yogurt. We've got 2 eggs in there. We're still going with the liquid ingredients. So in here, in this little container here, I have a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract is in there, and I also have half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. I'll explain to you why I've got the apple cider vinegar in there a little bit later on. Taking up a whisk, just lightly, break the yolks and then just bring that together. We just sort of want to make sure we got no streaks from the coconut yogurt. It's amazing, even with that little bit of apple cider vinegar, you can really smell it in there. It's pretty amazing. All right, so that is done. The next thing I'm going to add is the last bit of liquid, and in here I have melted coconut oil. So you need it to be melted coconut oil. That goes in. That is my replacement where there's a lot of times donuts tend to have butter. You don't need butter. You can get away with having coconut oil, and once again, I now have this dairy-free, wonderful dairy-free recipe. All right, that is in now, perfect. So we're gonna move on now. That's all the liquid ingredients done. We're now gonna move on to the dry ingredients. And you were saying before that I put a bit of apple cider vinegar in there. The reason I've got the vinegar in there, or the acid is what it is I'm going to be adding in some bicarb or bicarbonate of soda. Baking soda is going to go in there. And in order for the baking soda to react, it needs an acid. And our acid is the vinegar. So I'm going to add in a teaspoon of baking soda. Goes in there. I'm also going to add in just half a teaspoon of baking powder. That's going to help to give it a bit of a rise when we start cooking our donuts. That goes in. And the other ingredient that's really vital when you're doing gluten-free baking is I'm going to be adding in some xanthan gum. Now xanthan gum is what's going to help to keep everything together. So it's like a thickening agent, and it's going to help to keep our ingredients together. You don't need much xanthan because it's really potent. About half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. You can get this from the health food store and some of the supermarkets. I think Woolies in Australia sells it as well, but health food store most definitely. This little bag here will last you for months. It's like having baking powder or baking soda in your cupboard. It's one of those necessary ingredients if you're doing gluten-free baking. So just going to give that a bit of a stir just to mix that through the liquid. And we're going to go back to adding the rest of our dry ingredients, which includes just a sprinkle of salt. And that is going to help to bring out the lovely flavors that we've got in there. And then I'm going to put in my almond flour or almond meal, up to you which one you want to use. I have got 150 grams of almond flour, almond meal's going in there. Oh, that's the salt. And as well as that, I'm going to be adding in 75 grams of inulin powder, goes in as well. So give these a little bit of a whisk together as well. And this is when you're going to find that the dough becomes to form. And you get this, well, it's not really a dough, it's more like a batter. You see that consistency that I've got there? Using the whisk's a really good idea because you get to break up the, if you've got any lumps of, almond flour or whatever in there, you just break those up. And this is kind of the consistency that you want. See, it does drop off the whisk if I hold it up. That's what you're looking for. All right. So that's the dough basically done, or the batter basically done. There's not really much more to it than that. I'm going to have a little bit of a taste, just to make sure it's tasting delicious. And yes, it is. Actually, it's tasting really, really, really delicious. I'm going to have to hide these ones from the family because they're going to love it. All right. Now, this is the part that I'm a little bit slightly embarrassed about. I'm going to bring you up here because I need to reveal it. A little bit embarrassed about this part. Now, what I'm actually using to make, to cook these donuts is something that I've been had hanging around in my back kitchen in my butler's pantry for quite a while. And no, I don't have a butler, I just have a laundry that I call a butler's pantry. It's where I put all my equipment and stuff like that. And this has literally been hanging around in my butler's pantry for a very long time, and I haven't used it for years and years and years. It belongs to the kids, but guess what? It makes really good donuts. Are you ready? So I will be using the Donut Factory by Cambrook. It makes little mini donuts. It is so cool. It is non-stick. Look, can you guys see that? I'll bring you back down again. I can do that now that I've revealed my my bit of equipment that I'm using today. Yeah, so this is my Donut Factory from Cambrook. You don't have to buy a Cambrook one, but it is literally made for making little donuts, and it is perfect because it's non-stick. You just basically turn it on. You don't have to push any buttons. It just does its thing when you turn it on, and it makes the coolest little mini donuts. And I was very surprised. Like, I don't even know how many years we've had this in our pantry. I had to like wipe all the dust off it because it was like, this was completely covered in dust because I haven't used it for years. But my gosh, it makes really amazing gluten-free donuts. So I've got that. Look, if you don't have access to a little donut maker, you could also make these in little cupcake molds in the oven. So you'd set your oven on 180 degrees and you'll get the little cupcake liners, put the batter into that and make it that way. So you don't have to have one of these. You can actually also buy a little tin that's got donut rings in it, and you can actually make your own donuts this way. But from memory, this costs like 15 bucks or something like that, and it doesn't do much else. It only makes donuts. But you can make savory ones in here too. You know, you don't just have to make this type of donut, but you can, because these are actually sugar-free, so it's all good. So that's our donut maker heating up over there. I'm going to show you a little trick that our daughter Coco reminded me of this morning, because she made donuts this morning. She made gluten-free ones, and she was pretty excited. And what she did, she said, "Mum, I took a little plastic bag," and because she saw me struggling yesterday to put the batter into the donut holes with a teaspoon, she said, "No, I just took a plastic bag and I put the batter into the plastic bag and use it like a piping bag." And I was like, "Duh, that is so smart." So thank you, Coco, for the reminder that we can do that. So we're gonna put our dough or our batter into our little baggie. And I'm using like a sandwich style bag, so I should be able to get it all in there. But you can make so many mini donuts using this. And when it comes to donuts, you know what? If you have the mini ones, you can eat more than one for sure. So you get to have the excitement going on and on and on. So we're going to put our dough in there, just like that. Put you over there. And then just take all the air out of it. It's called dispersing the air. You don't want any air bubbles in there. You don't need to seal it, but you can if you want. And you basically want to push it all down to one end, like a little piping bag, right? See, I've got a bit of air in there. I'm gonna burp it. Don't need to close it. There you go. So you want to push it all down to one end, and literally that now looks like a piping bag. So we just open up our little. This is on, by the way. It's been preheating for a couple of minutes. Doesn't take long. And I know it's preheated because the light here goes off if you are using the Cambrook donut maker. Oh, I gotta love it. I'm so glad I kept it. I nearly threw it away because we don't use it, but I struggle to throw away anything that's to do with the kitchen. So I didn't. I'm so glad I didn't. So we're just gonna snip the end off our little bag. And it's gonna make it really easy for us to then lay our donut mixture, look at that, into our donut maker. And just using my spoon, easy, right? We're just gonna go around. Thank you, Coco. This is like the coolest little hack ever. So much easier than how I was struggling with it the other day, I have to tell you. And it's smooth too. You get a real even mixture throughout. So just pipe those in. And then all we need to do, I hope I haven't piped too much. We soon find out. You actually don't need that much. They look quite like I may have gone overboard with this. My little hole may have been cut too big, but never mind.